पैसाको हिसाबले सोधिहाल्नु ल म होइन एउटा जस्तै अघि न we're talking about prostate cancer if I'm not mistaken होइन to do a surgery like that let's say if it costs 5 lakh rupees for example होइन त्यो कुरा चाहिँ रोबोटिक्सले गर्नु पर्यो भने पनि त्यो एकदम ड्रास्टिक प्राइस डिफरेन्स हुन्छ कि के हुँदो रहेछ
अब सपना छैन टाढा नजिक आउँदैछ भविष्य खोज्ने मनले क्रेटाई भी पाउँदैछ साथ विश्वासिलो यात्रा आरामदायक यही हो हाम्रो रोजाइ यही छ साह्रै लायक क्रेटा इभी
Hyundai Creta Electric, undisputed, ultimate, now electric.
पैसाको हिसाबले सोधिहाल्नु ल म होइन एउटा जस्तै अघि न we're talking about prostate cancer if I'm not mistaken होइन to do a surgery like that let's say if it costs 5 lakh rupees for example होइन त्यो कुरा चाहिँ रोबोटिक्सले गर्नु पर्यो भने पनि त्यो एकदम ड्रास्टिक प्राइस डिफरेन्स हुन्छ कि के हुँदो रहेछ
सो अब इन्डियामा त त्यो 5-6 lakhs रुपिज आइसी नै पर्छ नेपालमा चाहिँ probably अब 5 lakhs होइन going to be a little bit cheaper than that I think certainly हाम्रो हस्पिटलमा चाहिँ अहिले चाहिँ currently अब around 2.5 मा अभाइलेबल गराइरहेकै छौँ रोबोटिक ऱ्याटको प्रोस्टेक्टमीहरू होइन सो आई थिङ्क द्याट्स सिग्निफिकेन्टली बेटर फर द पेसेन्ट इन टर्म्स अफ कस्ट कतिपय प्राइभेट सेक्टरमा त त्यो रोबोट नगर्दा पनि त्योभन्दा महँगो पर्न जान्छ एज वी नो इन काठमाडौँ होइन सो इफ यु क्यान गेट रोबोटिक operations at that competitive price range that's a win-win for everyone involved right particularly most importantly for the patient so I think that's where we can really make an impact
and again to convince the patient के कन्भिन्सिङ पनि त गराउनु पर्यो नि त द्याट हामी रोबोटिक्सबाट चाहिँ तपाईँको अपरेसन गराउँछौँ भन्दाखेरि अब कतिलाई झन् रिलक्टेन्ट पनि हुन सक्लान् होइन सो त्यो कन्भिन्स गराउनको लागि चाहिँ त्यो नर्मलाइज गर्नको लागि चाहिँ अरूले पनि गर्नु पर्यो त्यसपछि अरू अस्पताल अरू ठाउँमा पनि रोबोटिक्स आउनु थाल्ने बित्तिकै इट्स गोना बी इजियर
Yeah, I think that's there's a lot about awareness and part of the reason that we are having this conversation is to kind of raise that level of awareness in the general public as well as other stakeholders, other hospitals, other government institutions to say that, look, this is the standard of practice in most countries worldwide now increasingly and it's expanding in a big way and it's only a matter of time Nepalma pani yasko चाहिँ आवश्यकता छ
No, fair. No, that's very fair. I'll definitely raise more issues on that. I want to touch base on a few things different, if that's okay with you, and I'll take a little bit more of your time. यस्तो भयो कि back in the day, obviously, in 1993, things were different. You had to go because your parents moved, होइन अहिले चाहिँ and then you decide to study there, it's completely different, होइन अहिले चाहिँ हाम्रोमा चाहिँ हरेक सेक्टरमा कि I'm not just talking about science, in every single sector, everybody wants to leave. झन् स्पेसिफिकली डक्टर्सहरू त झन् हामीले रिटेन कसरी गर्ने भन्ने पनि हुन्छ होला होइन when you sit down with your young colleagues होइन what's their thought process हुन्छ नि how satisfied do you think they are or do you think that they're also trying to migrate to some other country USMLE होस् अथवा अरू कुनै हिसाबले के how do we what's the thought process on that
so I think this is one of the kind of sad parts of what's going on. The younger generations, not only in medicine but across any sector, being very keen to seek opportunities abroad. And that's only natural. I mean, to जुनै पनि countryमा चाहिँ they want to kind of go see the world, get achieve your higher degrees there, get work experience, maybe even settle there, or come back with a good international degree and find a good work here or start something here. So it's only natural to have that kind of drive, and that's a good thing. But to see it at a kind of a population level where perhaps not everyone is kind of motivated to in terms of educational and experience, but also badyata bas. They're kind of whether it's fed up or whether they're disillusioned or whatever. That's the sad part, right? So if we have a system which is supportive and we have the right environment across the country, and this applies to medicine as well. And one of the reasons that having technology and professionals who are trained to use that technology available in Nepal will hopefully कतिपय डाक्टर साहबहरू अब त्यहाँ बाहिर I'll go abroad and train in robotics, or I'll go train in something else. So if that's already available in Nepal, then you don't have to go through that hassle of doing a lot of exams and applications and spending a lot of time to go abroad to get that training that's available in your own country. आफ्नै फ्यामिलीसँग बसेर आफ्नै कन्ट्रीमा बसेर you could get that opportunity. So it kind of reduces that brain drain, because once you leave and begin to settle abroad, because the system is geared for your success abroad once you get into the system, and particularly once you start kind of making roots in terms of young family and your children start going to school and so on and so forth, then it's very unlikely, highly unlikely that you're going to come back. So I think if we can create an environment, and this is just an example, then it will play a big role for the country. You're kind of retained a lot of talent within your country, and may also create an environment where those who are already abroad, who are kind of thinking, okay, should I go back or not?
Like yourself.
Then they find look they, for example, in robotics, so it's already in Nepal, so I could go and kind of work in XYZ hospital, whether it's private or government or whatever, and I could be satisfied professionally to say that I'm using my experience and my skill in doing something good.
Yeah, and that's the ultimate satisfaction at the end of the day. One significant change in Nepal's healthcare system, हजुरले for the past 5 years, आफूले देखेको चाहिँ, one or a few changes, instant changes that we could make. What do you think it is? Instant, like छिटोभन्दा छिटो गर्न सक्ने चेन्ज. किन मैले यो सोधेँ भन्दाखेरि अहिले हाम्रो देशको सरकारहरूले अर्कै खाले सरकार छ कि अहिले के भन्छ यसलाई फास्ट ट्र्याक खाले सरकार छ होइन. केही समयको लागि केही कुरा चेन्जेस ल्याउनु छ भने चेन्जेस हुन पनि सक्छ कि. म हजुरलाई एउटा इक्जाम्पल दिन्छु होइन. हामी यहाँ बसेका थियौँ, एकजना डाक्टर साहब र म यहाँ बसेका थियौँ. अनि डाक्टर साहबले मसँग चित्त दुखाउनु भयो. डाक्टर साहबले के भन्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि कुरामा के कुरा निस्क्यो भन्दाखेरि मेरो क्लिनिकमा एकजना एकदम सानो उमेरको होइन, सानो उमेरको चाहिँ एकजना महिला आउनुभयो. उहाँलाई अलिकति समस्या भयो अनि हामीले चेक गर्दाखेरि उहाँले अनेस्टली भन्नुभयो कि उहाँको चाहिँ नेपालीमा मैले कम्प्लिटली नाम बिर्सेँ, उहाँको एग चाहिँ निकालिएको रहेछ, उहाँले बेच्नु भएको रहेछ होइन. के भन्छ यसलाई, डिम्मा भन्छ इफ आइम नट मिस्टेकन, चाहिँ उहाँले बेच्नु परेको रहेछ. भेरी यङ गर्ल. अनि पढाइको लागि चाहिँ मैले बेचेँ होइन. मैले चाहिँ गएर चाहिँ पढाइको लागि चाहिँ मैले यो अस्पतालमा चाहिँ अथवा एबिसी ठाउँमा चाहिँ मैले चाहिँ लगेर बेचेँ भन्दाखेरि जो डाक्टर साहब आउनुभयो उहाँको एकदमै मन त छुन्छ नि त कि अ यङ पर्सन ह्याड टु सेल हर एग फर एडुकेसन होइन. लङ स्टोरी सर्ट, केही समय पश्चात चाहिँ अब अहिले यो सरकारले चाहिँ एटलिस्ट यो सरकार आएको बेलामा चाहिँ त्यो कुरा चाहिँ उठिसकेपछि होइन, त्यो कुरामा चाहिँ अहिले चाहिँ धेरै काउन्टर मेजर्सहरू चाहिँ अपनाउन थालेको छ होइन. अफकोर्स देयर इज अ केस गोइङ अन एन्ड लट अफ थिङ्स गोइङ अन होइन. तर अब आउने भनौँ न, अब भविष्यमा चाहिँ कोही युवाले चाहिँ आफ्नो अन्डा गएर चाहिँ बेच्नु पर्दैन नि त होइन. अथवा उहाँलाई अवेरनेस आउँछ अथवा उहाँलाई चाहिँ बेच्न दिइँदैन होइन. त्यो लेभलको चेन्ज त आयो भनेर चाहिँ एटलिस्ट that's one change that we try to raise awareness from this show होइन. So anything that you actually think is something that you've come in and you've seen that we could actually implement, that can be done by the current government or the future government, which you think is going to benefit everybody, especially healthcare workers? मैले हजुरलाई एकदम स्पटमा राखेँ अहिले. इन्टरनेसनल स्ट्यान्डर्डको हिसाबले पनि.
I mean, you put me on the spot. I can't think of one specific thing.
Thousands of things.
There's a lot of different things, and all those little things can add up to make a big difference. So, for example, I would say probably a few things.
Okay.
Radical changes are छैनन् होला. For example, how can we, on the one hand, reduce the kind of brain drain, if you like, people who are kind of in medicine or surgery going abroad. अब यस्तै किसिमको चाहिँ सर्भिसहरू चाहिँ यही अवेलेबल गराइदिनु पर्यो, कटिङ एज टेक्नोलोजीहरू. अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ अब के गभर्मेन्ट लेभलबाट चाहिँ सपोर्ट हुन्छ हैन. त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ they don't need to look for those kind of training opportunities going to India or Singapore or Europe or the US or Australia. Because त्यहाँ गएपछि probably 98-99% of the time they're not going to come back हैन. त्यो लस भयो हैन. एउटा कुरा त्यो भयो. अनि दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ the flip side of that is, if someone's already there for the last they went there 5 years ago and they haven't quite settled there and they're thinking of coming back, how can you create an environment for them to come back? Obviously your systemहरु भयो भने चाहिँ they feel more comfortable, but अलि त्यो regulatory हिसाबमा पनि यो चाहिँ उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ सजिलो गराइदियो भने चाहिँ whether they want to be at an academic institution, उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ हैन अब आफ्नो पढेको कुराहरु आफूले चाहिँ ट्रेन गरेको आफ्नो एक्सपीरियन्सहरु चाहिँ त्यहाँ शेयर गर्नु चाहिँ सजिलो बनाइदिने environment, whether it's academic positions हैन अब यो युनिभर्सिटीमा टिचिङ हस्पिटलहरुमा. Until if you, I think, set up a kind of favorable position where they don't find it difficult to make an entry at a proportional level through their experience, academic achievement, or whatever that is.
Outsider feel gardenu bhaina.
So I think that's another way that you can kind of incentivize and get people to feel that they want to come back. That they are supported by everyone to bring their kind of expertise back and share it with fellow colleagues.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जॉय गर्नुभयो होला. अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ युट्युबमा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला.